Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazelnutty Games. It is actually Saturday, so it is time for us to make a vlog. That's a sentence that I can say. What happened this week? Watcherdev, Ian Hazakostas, Ian Hazakostas, I have no idea how to say his name, but he is one of the lead devs, I think he is the lead dev on WoW, gave an interview with Polygon, and among many things, he said something along the lines of, oh man, I wish I'd pulled a quote, but the gist of it was that they do not intend for there to be flying in Draenor, and the implication was as long as Draenor is current, and that they aren't going to do flying in new content. So in future expansions, future patches, they don't have any plans to add flying back in, with the exception of maybe like a specific zone, like a zone or area designed around it. And of course, everybody in the community has some strong feelings about this, and everybody has some feelings about what everybody else is feeling. And I don't really feel good, honestly. Most of the time, I can just kind of have faith in what they're doing and sort of, you know, sit back and withhold judgment until I've seen how everything's played out. But this sounds like a terrible idea. They gave a number of reasons for why they don't want to add flying back in. Things like it cheapens the experience, it makes the world feel less dangerous, it makes the world feel less immersive, it cheapens exploring, and it makes questing too easy. And I think, like, from what I understand, every single one of those complaints could be alleviated by simply doing the Pandaria thing, where when you're leveling and your sub-level cap, you don't fly. And then you reach level cap and you can fly. Or say you want to do daily quests, you want to do max level content like the Apexis dailies, and you don't want people to fly. Sure, whatever. Just delay it by a patch. When 6.2 comes out, we can't fly into Nan. That's fine. I've been into Nan, I've been on the PTR, and I feel like for the first time while it's new, it should be a no-fly experience. But why not let us fly in Old Draenor at that point? Everybody has had time to work through Draenor, and I feel like the percentage of people that are brand new to WoW that really want a grounded experience in Draenor at max level before they progress into whatever the newest patch is not that many people. I'm not saying that you should let us level in Draenor or any other new expansion for that matter while flying. I actually really like the grounded leveling, and I'm fine with one patch of being grounded while the stuff is new, but for heaven's sake, once it's not new anymore, please let us fly. This has absolutely killed archaeology. Myself, I mean, I love archaeology. I would love to do more of it. I still don't have that damn crawling claw pet, and I keep seeing it on the auction house, and I have more than enough gold to buy it. And I'm like, no, I want to have that moment where I proc that project for myself and have that wonderful, joyous, like, you know, this weird, creepy undead hand thing is now going to be my baby sort of deal. But, like, there's no incentive for me to go, like, I'd like to do it in Draenor because there's, you know, there's achievements, you can get these cool trophies and you can stick them near garrison, but I am not going to get on my mount and go around mountains and through ogres and, like, no! And honestly, for pet battle dailies, I log on to all my characters. I do my garrison daily. I take my main and I fly her to Ashley because she's like 2 feet from my garrison and I can level a pet from 1 to 12 on her. Maybe I take a flight path to Vashar and Valterok because that requires like no running around, but after that, I am not going to go out to Nagrand and work my way through a hill of angry elite ogres to go fight Tar the Terrible every day. If I could fly there, I might actually do his daily quest once in a while, but no! I have feelings and they're not good. It's not good for pet battles, it's not good for archaeology, it's not especially good for fishing. Now, of course, fishing you can, once you've got all the lunkers that you really want, it's perfectly fine to sit in your garrison and do it if you've got your level 3 fishing hut, and that's probably what I'm going to do in the future, but man, like, if you thought that forcing us on the Grand Mounts was going to get us out into the world, I don't think that's really how that works, and a lot of people are countering that argument with the thought that it's garrisons. Garrisons are the reason that nobody goes out in the world anymore, because everything that you ever need to do is in your garrison. And that is partially true, but I think back to, like, Cataclysm. Obviously, Cataclysm, there's no garrisons, the capital cities were basically Stormwind and Orgrimmar, and they just added in archaeology and whatever, and nobody really went out in the world anymore then either. And I don't think it was because they were able to fly. It's just because you can't, they didn't really incentivize the world that much. WoW players, MMO players will go wherever the rewards are. They will do things that they think are rewarding. Now that could be collecting cosmetic things. It could be working for titles or achievements. It could be collecting mounts. It could be getting gear. It's usually best to streamline the actual progression related stuff of actual power and gear into into places where, you know, people won't be super irritated to go because that's something they have to do, but stuff like cosmetic rewards, and I am not talking about a boar that runs like an idiot that has been recolored 5 different times. Actual interesting mount rewards and pet rewards are something people will absolutely go out in the world and grind for, and I feel like they're much more likely to get out in the world and look for stuff if they don't have to ride there on a pony. I'm not counting flying ponies in that, so that's my thought. I feel like they should add flying in for new content once it's at least a patch old. I mean, in my perfect world, I would say level on the ground, and then once you're at level cap, whatever that is, then you can fly. But I perfectly understand their idea of wanting to do max level content that is grounded, and I'm fine with like the Timeless Isle is fine because the Timeless Isle, it worked within a non-flying context, but it wasn't the only place you could go to do archaeology or pet battle or fish. Like, there were still flying-enabled areas in Pandaria where you could do all of those same things. You weren't locked in the Timeless Isle and locked onto your Grand Mount with all these elite mobs all over the place. That's just not... Anyways. Yeah, we'll see. I've been making all this gold on the auction house, and I finished buying all of the trading card game pets off the auction house, so I don't really have any more pets to buy. I've been keeping an eye out for a Viscous Horror, but I don't really want to pay as much as they're asking for them right now, so I'm either going to farm myself or just wait for the price to drop. But, yeah, so my gold's been kind of piling up, and what I was going to do previously was, you know, save it up and get myself, like, a TCG mount, because, you know, you can get, you know, the Feldrake or the Corrupted Hippogriff or all sorts of cool stuff, like the Amani Dragonhawk on the auction house, and on my server, at least, they go for, you know, between 150 and 250k, which is fairly achievable. And I was all excited about saving up for one of those, but I don't think I want to anymore. If I'm not ever going to be able to fly in new content, like, ever, that's awful. I bought myself a Battle Bear because I saw one of those and I thought that looked kind of cool, but I don't know if I'm going to buy any more flying mounts, and I certainly don't think I'm going to be buying any more store mounts. It's just kind of an awkward, bad feeling situation. I really hope that they take a really close look at the feedback that they're getting and kind of identify people that are just speaking emotionally that don't really have a whole lot of reason, to people that are speaking emotionally that have reason, to people that, you know, there's all sorts of different opinions out there, and I know it must be really overwhelming to try and sort through and figure out what is actually the right thing for the game, especially when, like, it's really hard to take constructive criticism well when it's mixed into this big pile of, like, steaming vitriolic criticism that should very well be ignored. It's really hard to sort through that and pick out the good stuff, so they have a hard job ahead of them. I really hope that they do the right thing, though. We'll see. We'll see. Also, on that note, I think they mentioned something in that interview about garrisons having been like an experiment, and I don't think they're going to do garrisons again. And it occurred to me that if they don't do garrisons in the next expansion, they're going to have to implement some crazy gold inflation to make it not worth my while to keep all 7 of my alts parked in their old, you know, expansion old garrisons, getting these treasure hunter missions for gold. Because right now I haven't done the math, but I think in a month, it's over 100k a month for me to keep my 7 or 8, like, alts with, you know, as many treasure hunters as I can recruit on them doing these gold missions. They never leave their command table aside from doing the menagerie daily, but, like, they're gonna have to seriously incentivize me to not do that once this next expansion comes out, and they're either gonna have to do that by forcibly shutting down the garrisons, which I don't think they would do because, you know, obviously new players that are leveling through, they have to get through Draenor, and the garrisons are a very integral part of the leveling experience. So I don't think they would shut down the garrisons, which is their one option. The other one is to just blow inflation wide open so that the, you know, 100k gold I can make every month is not worth anything, which sounds just crazy to me. So, or I guess they can nerf treasure hunter missions, but I don't know. We'll see how that pans out, but that's kind of something that somebody must be talking about it, but it's always kind of concerned me about if they don't do garrisons again, what are they going to do to get us out of our garrisons? Obviously, like, the profession and the crafting stuff that we can do in our garrisons is no longer going to be any good, but gold is kind of universal, and so that's that. Personally in WoW, I went back to a Shadow Priest, my guild. We were getting set up for a raid, and our numbers were kind of off because a bunch of people couldn't make it this week, and it turned out I needed DPS, and I'd been sort of thinking about it, and sort of been being kind of bored with healing and just, like, having these urges and, you know, like, finding myself on Shadow Priest forums, and I was all like, yeah, this is my moment. I did, like, that Batman thing where, you know, you rip off your day clothes to reveal your inner Shadow Priest or whatever. What actually happened is I went and grabbed all my stuff out of my bank and, you know, re-enchanted and stuff, but it felt like a Batman moment. Actually, I don't know if Batman does that. I'm not really all that up in my superheroes. But it felt like a Batman moment, and I went and did a whole bunch of damage, and I don't know if they want me to keep doing that next week, but that's too bad. I changed my enchants. I ain't going back. I'm a Shadow Priest, and I'm sticking with it. It's like in me now. I actually don't enjoy raiding as other things, because I'm like, man, this fight would be so much more fun as a Shadow Priest. And I'm excited about it because I'm good at it. I'm not the best ever. I'm not a mythic raider. I'm not in a world first guild, but I have done my research and I've practiced at it, and it's nice being able to top charts on something that shouldn't be able to top charts. But yeah, it's really fun. It feels really good to be being a Shadow Priest again. Healing was fine. Healing was fun, and I think it was probably good to I don't know. It was nice helping out with healing, but I really hope we can recruit a couple of very stable healers with good attendance so that I can stay a Shadow Priest forever, because it's just my thing. In three-dimensional life, my husband had some dental surgery the other day, so I've been taking a couple of days off streaming to kind of make some soup and hang out and be there for him. And also, I need to catch up on video making as opposed to streaming. So I'm planning to start streaming again on Tuesday. I think I took Friday, Saturday off. I'm gonna take tomorrow off as well. And then Mondays I don't normally stream, but I'm gonna try and be back on Tuesday. I'll let you know. But yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. It's just an upsetting thing to kind of have to go through. So we're gonna be all right. And also in my personal three-dimensional life, I have gone absolutely 100% over the wall insane in regards to my pepper plants. I think it might be a little bit obsessive. I can't, like, there's forums that I'll, like, troll through, not even looking for anything in particular. There's no problems I'm trying to diagnose. I'm pretty down with what's going on with my peppers right now, but just, like, what if there's a problem in the future, and if I had read this one thread that happened at this one time about this same thing happened to another thing? What if I knew what to do because I read about these other people giving this advice to this dude about his pepper whose leaves did, like, this thing as opposed to this thing? And, like, leaves can do a whole bunch of different things, and did you know how many potential nutrients that a pepper plant could be deficient in? And, like, all the different things you can do to supplement them, and oh my god, I can't handle it. Like, I have them out on pots on my balcony. There's pictures on my Instagram, and my balcony has a sliding glass door that goes right into my living room, and that tends to lead to me just hanging out in my living room, like sitting on the carpet by that sliding glass door, just kind of looking at them, being like, hey, did that one put out a new flower? And oh, those are some new buds in that one. And hey, that one shouldn't be putting out fruit just yet. Oh, is that one gonna fork at that particular growth node? And I'm just like, I've gone insane. I have gone clinically insane. But I'm happy. I'm really excited for next year. I'm already kind of thinking about what varieties I want to grow and different ways that I can make them a little bit happier, because, I mean, it's a learning experience, and I made some mistakes last season that I am improving on this season. I'm definitely making some mistakes this season that I'm going to improve upon next season. I'm good on pot size, my soil composition, not so hot, and I think I put them outside a little early. They're not going to die. I put them out after the last frost day, but peppers just don't grow very well while it's getting this chilly, it's getting to like 40s and 50s Fahrenheit at night, so I'll figure out something different for next year. They're doing fine. Not all of them have made it. The Trinidad Smooth and the Trinidad Perfume have been dropping leaves, and I'm pretty concerned about that. I think it's an overwatering thing, because despite the fact that it's been 3 weeks since I watered them, they still haven't dried out because my soil isn't drained all that good. I'm sure they'll be fine. And if they aren't fine, that's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. So, questions. Arson wants to know, what is a good, safe way to recruit people for a guild? And then you go on to list some concerns about people that are just in a guild for, like, the use of the guild bank, or that, like, never log on, or, you know, whatever. So, I think, and I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. I have never been in charge of recruiting for my guild, and for fairly good reasons. But, I think if you want to successfully recruit active members for your guild, people to get to know and to do activities with all the time, you need to have specific and scheduled activities and events of things that you're all getting together to do. So you need to decide, do I want people to join my guild so that we can raid together? Am I trying to put together a raid team? Am I trying to get some people for an active PvP guild? Do I want people that are good at arenas? Do I want to make an RBG team? Do I want to get a bunch of people who are just all new to the game and they're all leveling? Or do I want to have like a pet battle PvP, like, fight club guild? Like, you got to decide what it is that you want to do. And then once you have that, I think it's very important to schedule and administrate events. Like, I mean, if you're recruiting a raid guild, you need to have raid times. You need to have raid time set up. You need to have an idea of how many hours you want to raid a week. You need to have an idea of what kind of difficulty you want to start at and what your loot rules are going to be. And you need to be able to communicate all of that to potential not hire recruits, so that they know what they're getting into. And then as far as where to actually do it, that's going to depend, where to actually find people is going to very much depend on what kind of guild. So for a raiding guild, For any guild, your number one spot is going to be the forums. I know they're fairly active. Like the actual Blizzard Battle.net forums, there is a guild recruitment section for your server, and you don't have to recruit for these things within your... no, if you need to... guildies need to be in the guild on the server. So there are server-specific recruitment forums, and you can go find people for your raiding guild or your PvP guild or your leveling guild or whatever there. But if people, like, if you're trying to create a guild and you're trying to recruit people to join, and you don't have anything, like, they get in there and you're like, hey, and you chat in guild chat, and then they log off, and there's no incentive for them to log on at X time to do things, people are gonna, I mean, some of them might stay, but the vast majority of them are probably gonna trickle away to something a little bit more organized. So it's important to have times for what you want to do. If you want to do a pet battle thing, you need to have, like, this is our event, stick it on your calendar, have people sign up, have people try and communicate with you if they aren't able to come, so you kind of know where everybody's about. And that's that. So as far as other places, aside from the forums are always a good place to start. And then if you're recruiting for PvE or PvP, you can kind of do so through pugging in the in-game looking for more tool. You can fill out your raid on any evening by kind of leading a pug raid. And then if anybody, like people that tend to pug raids are usually between guilds, or sometimes people that just have an alt that don't want that their main guild doesn't do an alt run. But you can sometimes find good people that are between guilds there. And some of them may even move to your server. So that's happened before. We've recruited a couple people that way. We pugged them in, or they were friends of friends on different servers that eventually transferred to our server to be part of the guild. Same thing for PvP. I've met all of the people, every one of the people I PvP with, I met through that LFG tool. And that's how I got that group together. We're not part of a guild, but that's that. For like the actual chat channels, I know you can get people that way. I'm not sure how successful that is. Those may be the kind of people that tend to come in and then drop and run. But yeah, forums, chat channels, any social media accounts that you're active on. If you have like a Twitter following, Twitter is a great place to find people. If you're big on Facebook, I'm sure people use other social media platforms. I'm not really hip with the kids. But yeah, I think the most important thing is to have something to draw them. Like, say, we're recruiting because we want to raid at this time, or we are doing RBGs on these nights from this time to this time, and we want you for these roles to come in. And then once people know, like, they know they're showing up because they know they're needed and they know they have a job and a role. And once they're there, then you get to know them, and then maybe they have a buddy, and like friends of friends is another good way to get people. So that was a very long-winded response, but I hope that helped you out a little bit. Yes, and as far as being safe recruiting people, so long as you don't give them access to the guild bank, like even our guild, like people need stuff from the guild bank, you ask the raid leader and he takes it out for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. So don't give them access to the guild bank, and certainly don't give access out to any of your actual information. That's just a terrible idea. Yeah. Heroic Red X wanted to know, what is your favorite thing to do in WoW, and why is it PvP pet battling? Ha 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 ha, you're hilarious. I've actually... Ever since I made that last week's vlog and like found myself just doing a couple just for practice, every now and then I just find myself thinking of a pet and being like, man, wouldn't it be cool to build a team around this pet? And then I'll like queue with it for a little bit. I still haven't broken 50 wins into looking for group chill. And the fact that I found out, so I think I was talking about this last week. I think I was talking about how 250 wins through the find an opponent tool in level 25 PvP pet battles. 250 gets you that pet. And I was like being really overwhelmed by that. Well, I found out for 1,000 wins, I was about to hold up fingers, but I don't have that many fingers. 1,000 wins gets you a title, and it gets you trainer, your name, trainer X, trainer blank, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I'd wear it. I'm certainly not going to go for it anytime soon. I have other things to do with my life, but oh my goodness, 1,000 wins, man. That's just, like at that point, you must just have to have PvP pet battles be something you do. Like that's what you do in WoW. You log on, you do your garrison dailies, and you're like, hey, I'm going to hang out and queue some PvP pet battles. Oh man, what if they added in double battles where you could like queue up with like a 2s team or like a 3s team and then fight people that way? That would be funny. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's make that happen somehow. All right. As far as my actual favorite thing to do in WoW, I mean, it changes over time. I like raiding. Love pet battles. Like collecting pets. I enjoy tedious farms, like tedious grinds, like kill this thing or this boss until it drops you this really rare thing. I really like doing that. But I think my most favorite thing right now, and this is weird, but right now I'm having a blast playing the auction house. My favorite thing about doing my like WoW daily crap is just logging onto my bank vault whenever I log in or out, or throughout the day if I'm just at home working, is, you know, I like canceling my auctions that have been undercut and then reposting them and like collecting the stuff that I bought and checking for new stuff, or collecting the stuff that I've sold and looking for new stuff that I can buy and flip. And I love that. And it's so much fun. It's so satisfying to buy something for, you know, an amount of gold and then to sell it for a greater amount of gold. Like, I know that sounds super dumb and obvious, but it's really thrilling and I love it. So that's my favorite thing to do in WoW right now. And it's nice because it's not a huge time investment. It's something that you kind of have to tend to and then leave alone for a while. So it doesn't suck up all of my time. So that's that. If any of you have any questions you would like answered on a Saturday vlog, just leave it as a comment on the most recent vlog. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.